It was a bright afternoon in Ouagadougou, and President Ibrahim Traoré had just wrapped up a school visit. Without giving it a second thought, he told his driver to take a detour to the local market on their way back to the palace. "I want to walk among the people," he said. "No convoy, no fanfare, just me in the streets." 2 plain-clothes guards followed behind as he entered the market. Most people didn't even notice him at first. He wore a simple brown shirt, dark jeans, and a baseball cap pulled low, blending in seamlessly with the crowd. As he moved between the market stalls, he stopped to chat with an old shoemaker, bantered with a fish seller, and laughed with a group of women selling tomatoes. His demeanor was calm, humble. He didn't carry himself like a man with power. He seemed more like a neighbor. But something wasn't right. One of his guards, Karim, noticed a man sitting near a fruit stand who hadn't moved in a while. His eyes didn't blink. He wasn't shopping. He wasn't smiling. He was just watching. Karim nudged Bako, the second guard. "Karim, the man with the scarf. He's been still for 5 minutes." Bako, "Probably a beggar." Karim, "Even beggars blink." While they kept an eye on the man, President Traoré reached a stall stacked with ripe mangoes. The vendor, an elderly woman with dark skin and deep wrinkles, had the kind of face that seemed to carry 1,000 stories. President Ibrahim Traoré. "Good afternoon, Mama." The woman looked up and smiled. Elderly vendor. "Ah, you have the face of a leader, my son. May God bless your journey." He chuckled. President Ibrahim Traoré. "I'm just a traveler today." She picked up the juiciest mango and placed it gently in his hand. "This one's for you. Sweetest mango in all of Burkina." President Ibrahim Traoré. "Thank you. How much do I owe you?" "Nothing for a man like you. Just pray for peace." President Ibrahim Traoré. "Then I'll pray hard." He raised the mango to his nose and inhaled deeply. The scent was sweet, fresh, and tempting. But before he could take a bite, a sudden flash of movement interrupted the calm. A boy, maybe 9 years old, rushed out from behind a stall, shouting in a mix of French and Massi, "Don't eat it! It's not safe!" The guards jumped into action, grabbing the boy by the arms, guns drawn, eyes wide. The boy screamed, "Don't eat it! It's not safe!" The crowd started to gather, murmurs of confusion filling the air. Some people recognized the president. Others still thought it was just a random market incident. The elderly manga seller fell to her knees, trembling. President Ibrahim Traoré, calmly raising his hand. "Stop! Don't hurt the boy!" The guards froze. Abraham walked over and knelt in front of the terrified child. Gently. "What's your name?" The boy answered, "Daouda." "Why did you slap the mango?" "Daouda." "I saw him, the man with the scarf. He gave her something. He touched the mango before you came. I saw him. Then he left quickly. I think he put something on it." Iram's calm demeanor shifted. His expression grew serious. He stood and looked at Karim. President Ibrahim Traoré. "Where is the man with the scarf?" Karim, shaking his head. "Gone. Slipped away during the commotion." President Ibrahim Traoré. "Get the mango. We're going to test it." The guards retrieved the mango from the puddle, carefully wrapping it in a plastic bag. A lab technician was already being contacted. The market fell silent. The elderly vendor was shaking, her hands trembling. "I swear I didn't know. He said it would make the fruit shine. I didn't know it was poison." President Ibrahim Traoré. "I believe you, but I need to know more." Elderly vendor. "He came this morning, just before prayer time. Said he was a health inspector. Gave me a bottle of something. Said it would make my fruit shine and attract more customers. I only used it on 2 mangoes. Yours and another one I sold to a woman. I didn't think it was poison." Ibrahim's eyes darkened. "Did he say his name?" "No." He had a foreign accent, not French, not local, something different. He didn't buy anything, just gave me the bottle and left. That was all Ibrahim needed to hear. He turned to Bako. "President Ibrahim Traoré, authoritatively send a team to the market CCTV center. Get footage from this morning. I want to see his face. And find the woman who bought the other mango." Bako. Yes, sir. Back at the palace, the mango was quickly being tested. The lab technicians worked quickly, knowing time was critical. While they worked, President Ibrahim sat in a private room with Daouda and the elderly mango seller. A medic checked the boy for injuries. There were none, just fear and adrenaline. My big brother, he died last year. Someone poisoned his drink on the street. I saw the same kind of bottle once. Clear glass, yellow cap. The man with the scarf had one just like it. When I saw him touch the mango and walk away, I just knew. I didn't want you to die too. Ibrahim felt a lump form in his throat. There was sadness in the boy's words, but also pride. He stood, walked over to Daouda, and knelt in front of him. You lost your brother, but today you saved a leader. Daouda, I didn't mean to do anything big. President Ibrahim Traoré, smiling warmly. You did more than enough. You saved my life. The door burst open and Siku, the president's intelligence chief, rushed in holding a report. It's confirmed, sir. The mango was laced with a synthetic nerve agent, fast-acting. One bite and you would have been dead in minutes. Everyone in the room gasped. The elderly vendor collapsed into a shaking heap on the floor. I swear, I didn't know. I just wanted to make the fruit shine. President Ibrahim Traoré, I believe you, but I need to know more. Seriously, we checked the security footage. The man with the scarf is not from Burkina Faso. He arrived in the country 3 days ago, using a forged Nigerian passport. We traced him to a guest house near the embassy zone, but he's already gone. His room was empty, passport destroyed. The only clue left behind was a torn piece of cloth with a logo on it. Siku laid the cloth on the table. It was a symbol, a snake wrapped around a sword. President Ibrahim Traoré, recognizing it. I've seen this before, but it's not from West Africa. This symbol, it's from a group suspected in the Mali coup attempt, a private contractor likely connected to an intelligence network. So they've come for me now. The room went quiet. Then Ibrahim stood, determination written on his face. They tried to poison me through a mango. Next time they'll use something louder. We need to act now. He turned to Siku. I want to know who hired that man. I want names. And I want to know if there are others inside the palace already. We are on it, sir. Ibrahim then turned to the elderly vendor and Daouda. You two are staying here tonight. You're not just witnesses. You're family now. They looked at each other, stunned by the president's words. Daouda and mango seller reply, yes, sir. As Ibrahim walked away, his mind raced. The mango was a message, a quiet warning. But now it was his turn to send a message back. You tried to poison a lion, but he's still standing, and now he's hunting. That night the palace was on high alert. Every gate was guarded, every hallway monitored, every face was being watched twice. President Ibrahim Traoré sat in the war room with his top security team, reviewing the lab report. The mango had been laced with VX nerve agent, one of the deadliest poisons on Earth. Even the smallest dose could have killed him within minutes. This wasn't a random attack. It was well planned, precise. President Ibrahim Traoré, this wasn't just some petty attack. This was someone with money, training, and a whole network. Commander Siku stepped forward, holding a tablet with more updates. We traced the guest house where the poisoners stayed. We found some burned documents in the trash. Most were unreadable, but there was one half-melted paper with part of an email address. The domain is registered to a country known for private military contractors. You mean the same country where General Langley's base operates? Yes, sir. Ibrahim clenched his fists. They're trying to kill me and make it look like an accident. A guard leaned in to speak. Sir, we believe they planned to frame the old mango seller, make it look like she poisoned herself and caused a public uproar. That would have thrown everyone off. Ibrahim stopped pacing and turned sharply to Siku. Check the schedule for the Pan-African Summit next week. You think they're trying to kill you before that? Yes, before we show the world what real African unity looks like. He looked to his guards. From now on, I trust no food, no drink. Everything must be tested in front of me. I want full background checks on every palace worker, every caterer, every driver. Yes, sir. President Ibrahim Traoré, turning to the elderly mango vendor. What about her? She's resting in a room we assigned for her. She's frightened, but grateful. Ibrahim's voice softened. She's an innocent woman. She was used as a weapon. He paused for a moment before asking about Daouda. "Guard, he's sleeping, sir, but he wanted to speak with you before he went to bed. He said it was important." Ibrahim nodded and looked up. Minutes later, Daouda stood in front of him, now in clean pajamas, his eyes wide but serious. "I remembered something." Ibrahim knelt down, listening carefully. "What is it, son?" "I saw the man with the scarf talking to someone else. It was a man in a blue jacket. He gave him something, a phone. Then they went in different directions." Ibrahim looked at him, his heart pounding. "Did you see his face?" He replied, "Yes. He had a scar, a line going down his neck." "Siku," eyes widening. "I know who that is. He used to work in the palace kitchen. He disappeared 2 months ago without collecting his last salary." Ibrahim's anger flared. "He's not working alone. Siku to his last known address. I want him alive." As the guards rushed off, Daouda stood nervously, looking up at Ibrahim. "Did I do good, sir?" Ibrahim bent down and hugged him tightly. "You did better than good. You saved your country." Meanwhile, in a dimly lit room across the city, a man in a blue jacket sat staring at his phone, listening to the news about the failed mango attack. He cursed under his breath. A second man, his face obscured by shadows, stepped forward. "What now? We try again?" He pulled out a small black case and opened it. Inside was a sleek metallic device, shaped like a pen. But it wasn't a pen, it was an inject. The next attempt would be different. This time the target wouldn't even know what hit him. The next morning the air in Ouagadougou felt heavy, not just from the heat, but from a sense of looming danger. President Ibrahim Traoré hadn't slept much. His mind kept replaying the events. The mango, the trembling old woman, and the boy Daouda warning him, "Don't eat it." Without Daouda's quick thinking, he would have been dead by now. The palace was on high alert. Every bite of food was tested. Every drink was tasted by someone else first. Every room was swept for bombs or bugs. But, as it often goes, danger was already inside the gates. At 8:00 a.m., the palace gates opened to welcome an international courier. He carried a sealed envelope marked confidential, supposedly from a foreign embassy. Security checked the envelope, but no one noticed the pen in his shirt pocket. It looked like a plain black pen, smooth, clickable, unremarkable. But inside it was a tiny needle laced with the same VX nerve agent used on the mango. It was designed to kill a man within 60 seconds of skin contact. The plan was simple: hand the envelope to a palace aide, who would then take it to the president. Inside the envelope was a forged letter requesting Ibrahim's signature. The aide would offer him the pen, and Ibrahim would sign his own death. Meanwhile, Commander Siku had tracked down the man in the blue jacket the former palace worker Daouda had seen. They raided his hiding place in the early hours. He tried to escape through a back window, but was caught. Under his mattress they found something shocking: a burner phone with messages from foreign numbers, along with photos of the presidential route. One message simply read, "If mango fails, plan B, pen." Siku's heart dropped as he read the message. He radioed the palace immediately. "Lock down the entrances. Search every visitor now. They're trying again." Inside the palace, the courier had just handed the envelope to a young aide. "Please make sure the president receives this directly." The aide nodded and turned to go. But just as he was about to pass the envelope to Ibrahim, the doors burst open. Siku and his armed guards rushed in. "Commander Siku!" The courier made a break for it, but the guards tackled him to the ground. The pen rolled out of his pocket and slid under a chair. Siku, wearing gloves, picked it up carefully. Siku said in his pocket. President Ibrahim Traoré had just entered the hallway, having overheard the commotion. "President Ibrahim Traoré," calmly, "test it." Minutes later, the lab confirmed the worst. The pen was a weapon. A single click would release a tiny needle coated in VX poison, undetectable by the naked eye. The courier initially refused to talk, but after hours of interrogation and the looming threat of a military tribunal, he finally cracked. "Courier." The order didn't come from just one country. It came from a coalition. Courier, reluctantly, they didn't use names, just code. But one message said, "Langley has approved full silence." Siku's eyes widened. "Langley? Krier? They said Traoré is too dangerous. He's turning Africa against the West. They want him gone before the summit. President Ibrahim Traoré stood silently, staring out the window toward the flag of Burkina Faso. The weight of the courier's confession hit him hard, but it only fueled his resolve. They've tried with gold lies. They've tried with mango poison. They've tried with a pen. Next they'll use bombs, drones, or even our own people. He paused, then added with cold certainty, "Let him come." Everyone in the room stood still, eyes on the president. They all knew Ibrahim was no longer just a leader. He was becoming a symbol of resistance. President Ibrahim Traoré, resolutely. "I want the world to see this." Ibrahim turned to Siku. "Let's not hide. I'll stand at that summit. I'll speak openly. I won't back down." Commander Siku, concerned. "Exactly. That's why I must do it. Because they think fear can stop Africa. But they've forgotten. We were born in fire." Ibrahim glanced around the room, his voice rising with pride. "If they want to kill me, they'll have to do it in front of the world. And if they fail again, Africa will know who its true enemies are." The summit day arrived, and the air in Ouagadougou was electric. The streets were lined with cheering crowds, flags waving, soldiers standing tall. Cameras from across Africa and beyond were trained on one place, the presidential palace. President Ibrahim Traoré was about to make the boldest move of his life. Despite 2 assassination attempts, he refused to hide. Inside the palace, security was tighter than ever. Every chair, every bottle, every microphone was checked. Even birds flying near the palace gardens were being tracked by drones. But the fear remained. The summit was set to begin at 11 o'clock. Ibrahim Traoré, determined not to cower, stood before a packed crowd. The presidents of Mali, Guinea, and Niger stood beside him, the roar of the crowd filling the air. But amidst the celebration, someone in the crowd was watching closely. An agent, poised with a laptop case, preparing to broadcast fake footage of Ibrahim's assassination, using AI deepfakes to create chaos across the continent. But what the agent didn't know was that Burkina intelligence had already intercepted the plot. Just as the man opened his case, ready to hit upload, plainclothes security agents tackled him. The crowd never noticed. His device was seized, his phone traced, and in a matter of hours, 4 other agents across the city were arrested. President Ibrahim Traoré, proudly to the audience, "My enemies thought I would be silent today. They poisoned my food, they placed weapons in my path, they used the hands of my own people to try and end me." He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. President Ibrahim Traoré, resolutely, "And I am still here." The crowd erupted into applause. "I am not just here for Burkina Faso. I am here for every African nation that has been told to kneel, for every child who never tasted clean water, for every farmer who lost their land to greed, for every country that was robbed in daylight while the world turned its eyes away." He raised his voice. "President Ibrahim Traoré, they tried to kill me with a mango, but instead they made me stronger. They reminded me that the real power is not in palaces, not in gold, not in guns." He turned to Daouda, standing proudly in a clean new suit. President Ibrahim Traoré, sleeting away, his helmet already perched, in a boy who slapped poison from a president's hand and said, "Not today." The crowd erupted into applause. Some cried. Even foreign journalists stood in awe. Later that evening, Ibrahim sat in his private garden with Daouda and the elderly mango vendor. They laughed, sharing real mangoes this time, tested and blessed by palace staff. "President Ibrahim Traoré, you've given me more than mangoes. You've given me purpose." Then he turned to Daouda. "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Daouda, looking at the stars, "I want to protect people like I protected you." "Then your training begins tomorrow." The failed attempts became a public symbol of resistance across Africa. Songs were written, eras painted. Children in schools were told the story of the poisoned mango like it was a legend. And somewhere, in a distant office, A Western official stamped a file labeled Failed Operation Traoré. Below it, someone had scribbled, "The lion does not fear fruit. The lion does not fear lies. The lion roars louder now. In the face of danger, President Ibrahim Traoré's courage and determination shine. His commitment to protecting his people shows that true leadership is about standing firm for what's right." Daouda, the boy who saved his life, reminds us that even small actions can change history. What do you think about President Traoré's bravery? Do we need more leaders like him today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring content. Your support means the world to us. Stay tuned.